What's up everybody? Welcome back or to the channel. So today we got something that's going to be very quick and easy. What we're going to be doing today is an unboxing and install and review of the Weathertech Tech Liner bed liner and the matching tailgate cover. So if you happen to watch one of my last videos where I did the custom spray-in liner, I did mention that even though I was doing a spray-in bed liner, I wanted to do the Weathertech bed liner on top of that for added protection and for a little bit of a better seamless look. Because I have the fifth wheel package where I have holes in the bed with the caps, and I have the hole in the bed where I have my old exhaust stack coming through. So I wanted to use the bed liner to cover all that so it just looked a little bit better. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what we're working with. Here we go. So in this box here, this is where we actually have the Weathertech Tech Liner. This is the bed liner that is laser fit to match your exact bed for my truck over here, which is a 2016 Ram 2500. So that is what's in that box. This is sold separately, which is the matching tailgate cover right there. Okay, so doing this is going to be laser fit to your specific bed. The main bed liner here, it does have about a 4-inch flange that kind of goes up the sides of your bed. So it does fit pretty tight and neat in your bed, keeping it stationary, but it does have these little Velcro double-sided sticky pads that once you adhere them to the bed, it kind of helps it from like wiggling around and shifting around in the bed. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead, unbox your two products and lay them out somewhere in the sun. Preferably the sun. You can lay them out in the heat anywhere, but I would say put them in the sun so that they really start to warm up, because these have been rolled up in a box for a long time. You want to make sure you get them out in the sun, put some logs or some rocks on them to kind of hold them in place, you know, obviously so the wind doesn't blow them away or anything like that, and just let the heat kind of flatten them out so that they can get to their flat shapes, which might take an hour or two depending on the heat. So let me go ahead and start unboxing these and getting them out here in the sun, and we'll be right back to discuss what our next steps are. Okay, so we're back. So I actually got these taken out of the box and rolled out with the sticky strips facing up. And as you can see here, each one of those little white tabs is a double-sided Velcro sticky tab that once you're ready to install it, you just peel the backing off and that'll stick to the bed. But we'll get into that here shortly, and here is the piece that goes in the tailgate. So right now I just have a couple old truck parts laying on here just to hold it in place. So we're gonna let that sit in the sun for a little while and warm up. But also in the box, you're going to get 2 packs of these for the regular bed liner, and you're gonna get 1 pack of instructions for the actual tailgate part. Now, we're gonna go over these in a little bit, but basically all they are is alcohol wipes that you wanna wipe down the truck a little bit where you're gonna be putting those sticky tabs. So let's just go ahead and let those liners take some time in the sun. We'll let those heat up and stretch out a little bit and flatten out. As you see, there's the old bed liner there. Here's the new spray-in bed liner that I did. And everything turned out pretty good on this one here. There we go, now we can see better. All right, so that's what we're working with here. So again, I got those plugs that are in the bed, but as you can see, they just don't look as good like that. But really the main purpose of doing the tech liner is, it's not that I don't mind these plugs, but covering them up I actually think would look a little better. But it's this hole back here that I had drilled out a long time ago when I had my exhaust stack put in. So it's just basically a hole. So what I still have to do is find one of these plugs, probably the bigger one in the middle, find a plug like that, plug that hole back there. But I'm gonna use this bed liner to cover all of that so that you don't really see it. It makes the bed look better. I'll just get up and show it to you. That's essentially gonna sit just like that. So I really wanted to make sure I did a spray-in bed liner that I did myself. It was about 150 bucks, and I sprayed that in, and now I have a nice hard coating that'll protect that. Then I wanted to do the Weathertech bed liner on top of it to really just give it that added level of protection. So that's the reason number 1. Reason number 2, I wanted something that might be able to cover all these plugs and holes and just give my bed a little bit of a nicer look when the tarps roll back. So let's just give this a little bit more time to heat up in the sun, and we'll be right back. Okay, so while the liner is still out in the sun, trying to gain its shape back, which it's doing a pretty good job, it's getting pretty flat right now. Let's go ahead and start working on the actual tailgate liner. Now again, one of the first things you really want to do is clean your bed. So get some soap and water, some Dawn dish soap or whatever, but really clean your bed and make sure it's swept out, cleaned out, washed out, and dried. That's what you want to do first. But being that I literally just did this whole bed a couple days ago and I've had it under my tarp, it's perfectly clean. Now you could start with the bed liner or you could start with the tailgate liner. It really doesn't matter which you start with, but I'm gonna start with the tailgate liner just for time purposes because I'm crunched for time today. And while that's sitting here, that's the bigger piece that is not being bolted down. So I want that to take a little bit more time to flatten out. Whereas this one's pretty much flat already and I'm bolting it down. It'll hold itself in place better. So I wanna focus on that first so that I'm not waiting too long to get to that. So when you're working on this, now every truck's gonna be a little bit different, okay? So your truck install might be slightly different than mine. This is a 2016 Ram 2500. So what we're gonna do here is you're gonna take the 4 back bolts out. This back bolt here, this middle bolt, that middle bolt, and this back bolt. So you take those 4 back bolts out. Then what you're gonna do is put those bolts through one of these washers, and then we're going to be using the same bolts to bolt it back down in place. Now when it comes to the actual sticky tape part, these white tabs here, they're going to pretty much be sitting up in these grooves like every other groove. So what you want to do is, because remember the front up here is bolted down, the back is not bolted down, but that's held in place by the sticky tabs. Now what you want to do is, the kit actually comes with either alcohol wipes or a special adhesive that comes in here. So what happens is if you have a painted bed, meaning not a spray and liner, a painted bed, you just want to make sure you use the alcohol wipes and wipe the area really clean where those sticky tabs are going to line up. If you have a spray and liner like mine, you want to use the other product, which is more of like it's like a little pen. You're gonna wipe it in there and you wanna let that sit for about 5 minutes. Let it adhere to the bed liner, and then that is what's gonna help adhere to your sticky tabs. So let me start with that first. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking out these bolts, okay? And if you have the hex bit like that already, you can use that, but the kit actually comes with one. So I'm just using theirs. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those 4 bolts taken out and we're gonna start working on getting this installed. So I'll be right back. Okay, so once you got your 4 bolts taken out of the back, okay, the 2 in the middle and the 2 at the very back of the tailgate back here, you want to put your liner down and you want to make sure that the back lip is kind of tucked in a little bit, nice and neat here, okay? Then what you want to do is take those little washers and break off 4 of them, okay? Then what you're going to do is take your bolts that you took out originally and you're going to slide those through. Now you want the flat part facing up because you can see it has a little like edge on the bottom. You want the flat part facing up so it lays flush with your actual bolt, and then that way that little lip right there fills in the hole of the liner. So you're basically going to stick them back in like that. Now you don't have to tighten them down just yet super tight. We're just tightening them down just tight enough for now. So let's go ahead and do that with all 4. And again, you don't really want them super tight because you might have to shift this into place. Okay? So just tight enough to where the bed liner could shift around a little bit. Okay? Then what you're going to do is flip this up like that and take a look at where your sticky tabs are going to line up. So like obviously this one's going to line up right in here, and get an idea of where. So obviously this one here, if you kind of get a better look, it's probably going to line up about right here, almost in the middle of that slot. So maybe not the first inch or half inch. It's going to start about right here and end about right here. Okay, so, and they're all going to be in different offset patterns. This one's going to be lower, this one's going to be higher. So you want to make sure you take note of where they're going to be. So this one here is a little lower. So when I use that pen, and there's a few of them in here, okay? So what you want to do is right at this little dot right here. So right here, it says crush at the dot. So right at that dot, just take your 2 fingers and squeeze, and you'll hear like a crack. It'll have like a crunchy crack sound. That's breaking the fluid open so that now you can start using it. So now we know that this tab here is going to be lined up right here. So what you want to do is go ahead and start wiping that down. Okay, so we did that one. This one's going to be up towards the top, so we're going to do up here. Now there's not a whole lot of fluid in these, that's why they give you 3 of them. Okay. Now again, there's not a whole lot, so I'm gonna leave that there so I know where I left off. You hear that? That's what you want. Now this one's gonna be back at the bottom again. And this one will be back at the top. So I got that one done. I got these last 2 strips to do over here. Crush it again. This one will go towards the top. Now again, you only have to do this when you're dealing with a spray-in liner. Again, if you do not have a spray-in liner, you do not have to worry about this. So if you have a painted bed, just go ahead and use the alcohol wipes and wipe these areas off. Because you have a painted surface, you're wiping that off. But if you have a spray-in bed liner like I have, you're gonna wanna make sure you do this first, okay? So now that we did that, that part's done. It's basically liquid 3M, okay? And what liquid 3M is gonna do is it's going to bond to the actual liner. That way the sticky tabs that are on the back of the Weathertech liner would adhere to that 3M liquid that's on the spray-in bed liner. So that's basically what you wanna do there. So we're gonna go ahead and let that sit for a couple more minutes and we'll be right back. And then once we come back, we're gonna start peeling the tabs off, laying it down, getting it into position, screw it down, and then we'll be done. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we are back. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is, again, you wanna make sure that the front part is lined up pretty much right where you want it. Okay, make sure the sides are lined up. If you need to shift it into place, you can. But I'd say we're pretty much lined up pretty good so far here. Everything's kind of covering real good. All right, so I'd say we're pretty good right where we're at. Then what you want to do is fold this back up and then take your double-sided sticky tape, so you can get your fingers on it. Now these are actually double-sided 3M Velcro strips. Now the good thing about having these Velcro strips is if you ever want to take the liners out and say maybe clean your bed, or you want to take your liners out, wash them real good, and you want to shine them up a little bit or something like that, these Velcro strips will just come right off. And then when you want to put it back in, the Velcro will stick again. So these Weathertech floor liners are removable and you can reinstall them anytime. You just want to come down, lay it down, find a center point, stick it down nice and tight. And then make sure you lay everything out nice and tight. And again, once these heat up, they will hold better. Then you want to come back up here and tighten this down, but you don't have to go over tight. And again, make sure you kind of push everything out. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty much all you got to do. Now again, once this actually gets hot, again, I'm gonna leave it out in the sun. It'll actually kind of lay down a little bit better and flatten out a little bit, because remember, it was still on a roll. So, you know, this will actually back here, this little flap, it'll eventually lay down flat pretty good. This is just one of those things I wanted to try out, see how it works, see if I like it. If I don't like it after a while, then I'll sell it and try something different. But I wanted to do a spray-in liner, and I wanted to try some type of a liner that is going to cover the whole floor and hide all those plugs and holes. So we got the tailgate piece on. That was very simple and easy, and that's it. So tailgate is done. Now I think we've been out here for a little while. That should be good. So what I'm going to do now is slide it into position, and then we're going to go ahead and climb in the truck and start doing the same exact thing. We're going to slide it into the truck, and then we're going to fold it up to find out where the sticky tabs are, and we're going to start doing the same thing that we did here. I'm going to lay it down and see how it looks. So I'll be right back. Okay, so what you want to do is just go grab your liner, and we're going to slide it into position. Okay, so I slid it into position. Now again, there is like a 3 to 4 inch flange. It kind of folds up along the whole outer edge. So when you're first sliding it into position, it's probably not going to line up at the back because you have to shove it up there enough for that flange to fold up along the edge. So as you can see here, it folds up along the sides. Now again, once you get this into position, just like so, now we want to go ahead, go in, probably go towards the back, and we're going to fold it up, get an idea of where those sticky tabs are, and do the same exact thing with those sticky tabs. And again, I think that looks a lot better in the bed now. The only thing I really don't like is the color of the spray-in liner. This was a Bully spray-in liner. It was supposed to be midnight color, which looked like dark, almost black. But it has, in the sun, it has a brown look to it. So when you're looking at it against a black floor, you could see the brown plain as day. So what I'll probably have to do one of these days is I'm just gonna go get some spray paint, like some gloss black spray paint, and probably just spray paint over the liner, the spray-in liner, just to give it a black look, because I really am not a big fan of that midnight color. It has just like a brown look. But other than that, the actual WeatherTech bed liner does look pretty good. And again, you just want to make sure that the WeatherTech emblem is towards the back. So there is a little bit of branding right there. Other than that, that's about it. So let me go ahead. I'm going to crawl up front, and we're going to start doing those sticky tabs in the front. As I get to the back, I'll show you a little bit about what that looks like, and then we'll wipe it down and we'll finish up and we'll be done. So okay, so I already got the ones that are in the back. There was one in the back corner, one back here, there was one about right here, and about one over here. So I got those done. Now I'm on to the front half of the actual sticky tabs. So just fold it up to where you sort of see them lined up. So I can tell right now this tab is going to line about right here. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe those down. Now again, you're going to need multiple pens, because keep in mind, each pen is good for roughly 2 strips. So being that I have this pen right in my hand, it'll do these 2 strips. I got 3 more pens, so 1, 2, 3. So again, each pen is good for about 2 strips. So don't try to stretch these out. They're only good for about 2 sticky strips, because there's not that much liquid in here. So once you do 2 of them, break open another, do another 2, break open another, do another 2, and so forth. So let me go finish that up and we'll be right back. Okay, so we got those 4 done. Now we're down to the last 4, which are pretty much right at the edge. So there's 1 right at the edge here, there's 2 right here, and there's 1 at the edge, like right here, right at the edge here. So what I'm gonna do is I got 2 more sticks to use, and we're gonna go ahead, adhere those last 4 sticky strips down, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick little walkover. We'll make sure everything's, I'm gonna basically get in the bed, step on each one of the sticky tabs just to make sure it's really adhering. And then I'm gonna come back through with some sort of detailer product, wipe all this out because I got my dirty feet marks in here. I'm gonna wipe all that out and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are done. Let's take a closer look. There it is. Now again, some of the little wrinkles at the corners, That'll all go away once this truly heats up in the sun and basically gets warmed up and kind of fits to the bed. But as of right now, it's looking pretty good. Here's the bed. So here's the actual tailgate liner right here. So as you can see, everything looks really good here. Let's see if I can go kind of slow. But overall, everything has a pretty good fit. And again, what's nice is that everything shuts nice and good. So as you can see, I can shut the tailgate. Everything looks good. I've always been a fan of WeatherTech products. I have WeatherTech laser fit floor mats in all of my vehicles. I've been using WeatherTech products for many, many years. So this is the first time I've ever used a WeatherTech Tech Liner bed liner. So we'll see how it goes. But so far, I mean, I like how it looks. It looks like it has a pretty good coverage. Just like the floor mats, it actually has the raised lips on the side. So if you do have wet stuff or water or snow or just muck and mud, whatever, it's going to stay in the liner because the lip comes up the side, keeping all of that mess inside the bed liner here. So it's not just falling behind and underneath. A lot of your other bed mats that are out there, they're just a mat. So what happens if you do have any mud or water or slush or whatever, it's going to fall off right off the side and lay down in these creases here, which could eventually cause rusting issues if you don't have a spray and liner already. But this one here actually has that lip to protect that from happening. So so far I'm pretty happy with it. Looks pretty good. It fits like a glove. I mean, everything fit perfectly to the truck. So that is it. That is the WeatherTech Tech Liner bed liner with matching tailgate cover. So far I'm impressed. I'll have to do a review maybe in a few more months to show you how it holds up over time. But for my first initial review, I think it was packaged very well. I think it actually installed very easy. It came with everything needed to actually adhere to your truck. Now, I will say, before I opened this package, I was a little bit concerned about how those sticky tabs were going to stick to a spray-in liner. But when I opened the box, it said right in instructions, they have alcohol wipes for painted beds and they have liquid 3M for spray-in bed liners. So I thought that was a well thought out addition to the packaging, which I was not expecting. So even if you have a spray-in liner like a Line-X, a Raptor, or a Bully like mine, any type of spray-in bed liner, the WeatherTech liner will still work because it does come with the liquid 3M tubes that will allow you to adhere that. So overall, first impressions, I really, really like it. I think it's a great product. I think the fit and finish was pretty much spot on. I think the packaging was spot on. It came with all the instructions. It was very easy to install, which is what I like. So overall, for around 200 bucks to have a nice cover like this that's mounted and adhered and it has the ability to come in and out if you ever need to clean it, I think it's a great product. So I'm going to give this one a thumbs up. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you like it. So overall, I really like this WeatherTech Tech Liner. I think it fits great. I think it looks great. All the instructions were very, very clear. It was easy to install. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked this video. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. As always, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because it definitely helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for all of your support. And as always, see you in the next video.